Security is the foundation of our prosperity, and our working relationship for our mutual security is strong. With the second largest military in the Western Hemisphere, the defense partnership between the United States and Brazil has benefited us both for many decades, promoting the safety of our people and the stability of the region. Last month, the United States and Brazil launched the first ever permanent security forum to integrate all elements of our law enforcement operations, and we will continue to confront the challenges facing security and stability across this region together. There is one specific threat to our collective security that we spoke of today and I'd like to address. The ongoing collapse of one of our neighbors, Venezuela. Once one of the wealthiest countries in the Western Hemisphere, Venezuela is now essentially a failed state. Once rich, Venezuela is now poor. Once free, Venezuela is now oppressed. And Venezuela is not merely imploding, it is unraveling, sending shockwaves rippling across the wider region. Venezuela's collapse is creating a humanitarian crisis, leading to widespread deprivation, the denial of basic services, and starvation. And it's spurred the largest cross-border mass exodus in the history of our hemisphere. More than 2 million Venezuelans have abandoned their homeland, giving drug cartels and human traffickers even new opportunities to engage in their deadly trade and exploit vulnerable families. Tomorrow, as you mentioned, Mr. President, Karen and I will be visiting Venezuelans in a shelter in Manaus. To meet this crisis, the United States is proud to support, in the fashion of more than $20 million, efforts to come alongside Venezuelans who fled their homes. This is in addition to the more than $40 million that we've given to support humanitarian efforts across the region. And today, Mr. President, I'm pleased to announce that the United States will provide additional support of nearly $10 million to Venezuelan migrants, more than $1 million that will go directly to Brazil as you address this ongoing crisis. Mr. President, let me say thank you. Thank you for supporting the more than 50,000 Venezuelans who have fled to Brazil to escape the deprivation and the tyranny that has beset their homeland. Thank you for your leadership in standing up to the Maduro regime and for your partnership in the cause of democracy in that land with the United States. To pressure the Maduro regime and to restore democracy, the United States has issued unprecedented sanctions against the Maduro regime. We welcome the European Union's decision just yesterday to sanction 11 additional members of the regime, and we're especially grateful for Brazil's strong support of economic sanctions. And we commend Brazil's leadership in isolating the regime in Caracas. Brazil led the effort to expel Venezuela from the regional trade organization Mercosur last year. You've played a leading role in the Lima Group since its inception. And earlier this month, you joined the United States to begin the process of suspending Venezuela from the Organization of American States. And we are grateful. But now is the time for even stronger action. And today, the United States calls on Brazil and all freedom-loving nations across our hemisphere to take further steps to isolate the Maduro regime. In doing this, know that you will continue to have a steadfast partner in America. Our conviction is clear. Our resolve and the resolve of our president is unwavering. As long as Maduro denies democracy and basic rights to his people, Venezuela will continue to crumble, and the Venezuelan people will continue to suffer. He has destroyed his nation's democracy and built a brutal dictatorship. He has imprisoned political opponents and waged a campaign of violence and intimidation. He's impoverished an entire nation and cut off the most vulnerable from life-saving humanitarian aid. And as Nicolas Maduro boasts to the world of Venezuela's success, the Venezuelan people suffer, starve, and flee. As President Trump has made clear, the United States will not stand idly by as Venezuela crumbles. The United States will continue to stand with the good people of Venezuela, and we will continue to stand with Brazil and all of our partners across the region and the world to hold Nicolas Maduro and his government accountable. Venezuela deserves better. The Venezuelan people deserve to reclaim their birthright of liberdade. Mr. President, as we discussed, we believe ours was always destined to be a hemisphere of freedom. And just as we stand with the good people of Venezuela, we must also stand together to ensure that the people of every country in our region have the ability to flourish and be secure in their own homelands.